All right, Shalom. Kahalayim La, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushua Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule and teach well. Much peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers in this work in truth and sincerity. Shalom, this is your brother Patak, back again through the Spirit with another lesson. Okay, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 105, and verse, I'm going to start at verse 6. It says, O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen. Which that word children, when you go to the word, let's go to that precept real quick. Psalms 105. I hope you brothers can hear me nicely. I know it's a lot of noise going on in the background. So when you go to that word children, the word there in the Hebrew is ban, which means son. It's really talking about the sons of Israel, you know. The word ban means son. So it's really referring to the sons of Israel. Psalms 105 and 6. O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, because we are the direct line. We are of the pedigree of Abraham. It says, ye sons of Jacob, his chosen, which is talking about who? The 12 tribes of Israel. Israelites. Yashar Allah. He's the prince of the power. Okay, verse 7. It says, he is Yahweh, our power. His judgments are in all the earth. He hath remembered his covenant forever. The word which he commandeth to 1,000 generations. Right. The Lord has remembered his word, his covenant that he made with who? Abraham, Isaac, and then Jacob, man. The Lord may have casted us off because of our wickedness for a period of time, but ultimately, he's never going to get rid of the whole nation of Israel. We are that prodigal son, if you will. Okay, let's continue on. Verse 9, it says, which covenant he made with Abraham and his oath unto Isaac. So the scriptures is telling you very clearly who the Lord's chosen is, who the Lord deals with, who the Lord loves. You know, it's very plain and simple. So you have the small hats, the 1948ers, pretending to be Jacob. But where are the other tribes? Y'all don't fit the description. The curses, y'all not suffering. You know, if you know the so-called the small hats today, they are some of the richest, you know, people in the world. So how does that line up with prophecy? You know, y'all are the rulers of the world. Y'all don't fit the description because the Lord is not with you, you small hats, man. And you know, you should know what we mean when we say small hats. Psalms 105 and 10, it says, and confirm the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. What is that referring to? The law, statutes, and commandments. And confirm the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. Because ultimately, that the law, statutes, and commandments is that covenant. We told the Lord that we would keep the law, statutes, and commandments, man. Let's look at that word law. Statute. Yeah, basically means law. Well, actually, let me go back to the blue letter. Psalms 105 and verse which verse was I at? Verse 11, it says, say unto thee will I give the land of Canaan, the lot of your inheritance. When they were but a few men in number, yea, very few and strangers in it, when they went from one nation to another, from one kingdom to another people. He suffered no man to do them wrong. Yea, he reproved kings for their sakes. Right, now that's going to be the entire title of this lesson. He suffered no man to do them wrong. Why? Because the Lord loves Israel. You know, the Lord is jealous over Israel, and he's jealous over his people. You know, he loves Jacob, and he suffered no man to do them wrong. It means do them no ill, do them no harm, do them no damage. What happened to the old Egypt? It was destroyed. Why? Because the Lord is the one that destroyed it. Why did the Lord destroy it? Because they was abusing and neglecting the children of Israel. It was doing them wrong, having them serve in captivity. Okay, it says verse 15, saying, touch not mine anointed and do my prophets no harm. Moreover, he called for a famine upon the land. He brake the whole staff of bread. He sent a man before them, even Joseph, who was sold for a servant. Now he's telling you the history of the old Egypt, because ultimately Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua sent a famine in that land. And if you go read the story, it'll tell you. Verse 18, it says, whose feet they hurt with fetters. He was laid in iron until the time that his word came. The word of Yahweh tried him. The king sent and loosed him, even the ruler of the people, and let him go free. He made him lord of his house and ruler of all his substance. Right. The Lord made the king of Egypt at the time made Joseph lord over his, it says it made him lord of his house and ruler of all his substance, because Joseph made Egypt great. Joseph made Egypt great because the Lord blessed Joseph. Okay, it says to bind his princes and his pleasure at his pleasure, and teach the senators wisdom. Israel also came unto Egypt, and Jacob sojourned in the land of Ham, and he increased his people greatly and made them stronger than their enemies. He turned their hearts to hate his people, to deal subtly with his servants. And that's the same thing the Lord did with Esau Edom. He turned the heart of Esau to make him hate Jacob and do ill towards Jacob. And at the end, the Lord is going to he's going to judge Esau for what he has done to Jacob, because Esau has overdid it. Let me get a quick precept in my Bible real quick. Let's go to the book of Amos real quick. Because Esau, you had your chance. You did what you were supposed to do, but now it's time for you to pay, man. And these devils, they want to continue to, they don't want to pay the piper, man. But they're going to be forced. You got to pay for what you did. Amos 1:11. It says, thus said Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, which Edomites are talking about the so-called white man, to that modern day so-called white man, the small hats, and all the families of Esau. The word Edom comes from the Hebrew word Adawam, which means red, which describes Esau's skin complexion. He is cursed because of that mark that the Lord set upon Cain, because Cain is the forefather of Esau. Esau is Cain back. It's like Cain is Esau back in the reincarnation, back in the flesh. Because Cain was the first murderer. And what is Esau today? He's a murderer. So when Esau was reincarnated, the Lord stripped away his pigment. Slakia, let me rephrase that. When Cain was reincarnated, the Lord stripped away his pigment. And that's why when he came out, they called him Esau, because the word Esau, if I'm not mistaken, comes from the Hebrew word Aishatar, which means wasted away is he, because he didn't have any pigmentation. Let me see. I believe it's Aishatar, which means wasted away is he. It's real quick. Let me confirm that real quick. Let's look at the Hebrew. Yeah. Oh, so is it Ishar? Yes, Ishar. Slocky. It doesn't mean Harry. It means wasted away is he. I thought it was Ishatar. Forgive me. It's actually Ishar. Okay. Okay, let's go back. Psalms 105. Why would they want to do this while I'm trying to... I'm busy right now, working with a monster. Psalms... Okay, I pulled that up. This is the book of Amos, chapter 1, verse 11 again. Thus said Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof. Because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. So the so-called white man, he did what he did unto us because the anger of the Lord was upon him. The Lord is the one that used Esau, as a whooping stick to the house of Israel to punish them. And we deserve that punishment because Jacob wasn't doing right. We was doing all kinds of idolatry, serving other gods, following after the ways of the heathen, doing all kinds. And idolatry is a big reason why we're in this predicament today. That is spiritual fornication. That's spiritual adultery. That made the Lord very jealous, man. Because the Lord told us, thou shalt have no gods before me. In the in the 10 Commandments, if I'm not mistaken. You shall have no other God before me. Because he is our power, man. So the Lord punished us using Esau, and Esau did a number on us, but ultimately at the end, the Lord is going to restore Jacob to back even better than we ever been. Ultimately, the Lord is going to make us better than we ever been. Greater than we ever been. Okay, all right. Verse 12, it says, Amos 11 and 12, but I will send a fire upon Teman, which shall devour the palaces of Basra. Right. And that fire is thermonuclear fire. The Lord is going to send fire upon Esau. Malachi 4 and 1. The day cometh that shall burn as an oven. It's a very hot day coming for the inhabitants of America. And they wonder why the Lord is sending a famine upon this place. The Lord is sending all kinds of tribulation to America because of all of the things that they have done. They brutally murdered our people. Let me get a quick precept. Deuteronomy chapter 21. This is Deuteronomy 19 and 21. It says, and thine eye shall not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. So this is a part of the law. It's a part of the law. I'm so glad it didn't lock. Okay, this is a part of the law. So let's see. This is Psalms 105 and verse 25. It says, he turned their heart to hate his people, to deal subtly with his servants. He sent Moses, his servant, and Aaron, whom he had chosen. They shewed his signs among them and wonders in the land of Ham. And the Lord is going to do the same thing that he did in old Egypt to the new Egypt. He's going to do the same miracles and even greater in the time that we're living in now. The Lord said in second Esdras, he's going to smite Egypt with plagues as before. Because America is the new Egypt. Deuteronomy 28 and 68 tells you that. The word Egypt means bondage. The word Egypt in the Hebrew is Montezarium. And the word is referring to bondage. Slakia, there will be 1 second. Slakia, Deuteronomy 28:68. So here we are in the land of Egypt, which is bondage, and nobody is able to deliver us. Our only deliverer is Yahawashi HaMashiach. That's why we anticipating his return. Psalms 105 and 28. It says, he sent darkness and made it dark, and they rebelled not against his word. Right? So the Lord is going to send darkness upon the new Egypt, which is America, Babylon the Great. You know, he's going to send a very darkness upon the new Egypt. It says he turned their waters into blood and slew their fish. Right? That's an example of what? Famine. Even though the Lord actually did that, he made it to where they cannot survive. And he's going to do the same thing to you Babylonians, you modern day Egyptians. Because a lot of the things that Esau do, he got it from Egypt. You know, certain cities are named after Egypt. You know, these devils, the so-called white man is nothing but a culture vulture, man. And he did the same thing with the heathen nations. He did the same thing with the seed of Israel, the children of Israel, pretending to be somebody who he's not. But he doesn't want to be an Edomite because he knows Edomites are condemned and damned to destruction. Psalms 105 and verse 30. Their land brought forth frogs in abundance in the chambers of their kings. He spake, and there came diverse sorts of flies and lice in all their coasts. Right? The Lord was smiting old Egypt with plagues, and the Lord is going to smite the new Egypt with plagues. He gave them hail for rain, and flaming fire in their land. He smote their vines also in their fig trees, and break the trees of their coast. He spake, and the locusts came, and the caterpillars, and that without number. And they eat up all the herbs in their land, and devoured the fruit of their ground. Right? What is that? Famine. He smote also all the firstborn in the land, the chief of all their strength. Right? The firstborn is when the Lord smote the firstborn on that night when the Lord told Israel the night of the Passover. You know, that's why we hold that solemn assembly, which is the Passover. Okay, it says, verse 37, he brought them forth also with silver and gold, and there was not one feeble person among their tribes. Egypt was glad that they departed, for the fear of them fell upon them. He spread a cloud for a covering, and a fire to give light in the night, which that cloud for covering is talking about the chariot, a so-called big UFO that was guiding Israel out of the land of Egypt into the wilderness during the day and during the night. The people asked, and he brought quails and satisfied them with the bread of heaven, which is manna. He gave them manna to eat. It says, he opened the rock and the waters gushed out. They ran in the dry places like a river. Right? This is talking about all the miracles that the Lord did, all the wondrous things that he did. You know, he did it by the hand of his prophet, his servant Moses. And the Lord is going to do greater things in the times that we're living in, man. The Lord is going to do some miraculous things that we never seen before. But we've read about them, but we never actually experienced it. But we're going to get a chance to experience these things that the Lord is going to bring upon the earth. And it's going to be a very beautiful time to be an Israelite, to be calling upon the names of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. But for other people, it's not going to be so good. It said, verse 42, it says, for he remembered his holy promise in Abraham, his servant. And he brought forth his people with joy and his chosen with gladness, and gave them the lands of the heathen, and they inherited the labor of the people, that they might observe his statutes and keep his laws. Praise ye Yahweh. So let's get a couple precepts condemning Esau real quick. Obadiah 1:6. It says, how are all the... No, Slakia. Gets to the point. Verse 8, it says, Shall I not in that day, said Yahweh, even destroy the wise men out of Edom and the understanding out of Mount of Esau? Right, and the Lord is destroying the wisdom of Esau right now by using the prophets, because the prophets are exposing Esau for who he really is. The prophets are exposing Esau's agenda. The prophets are showing that Esau really don't know shit. So we're overpowering Esau with knowledge and wisdom and understanding of the scriptures. And it's something that he don't have access to, man. Obadiah 1 and Obadiah 1:9, it says, and thy mighty man, O Teman, shall be dismayed, which is talking about Esau. Let's see what the Teman, probably tomorrow. The word Teman. Son of Ephraim, grandson of Esau, the tribe descended from one node for the region occupied by the descendants of first one located east of Teman, the name of 2 Edomites in the region, the descendant of one of them. Yep, talk about Esau. Just wanted to see what that say. Okay, it says Obadiah 1:9. It says, and thy mighty man, O Teman, shall be dismayed, to the end that everyone of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Now, let's look at that word slaughter, since people don't know how to read. If I'm not mistaken, the Hebrew word there is quartal, which means slaughter. It says a violent death. Very plain and simple, to the point. Slaughter, violent death. That's it, pretty simple. Verse 10, it says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, thy violence against thy brother Jacob is talking about the 12 tribes of Israel. And I want to point out something real quick. You know, follow me on my screen to something that I was recently watching. I watched it before when it first came out, but I'm watching it again, and it just, you know, it pisses me off all over again. This is a documentary called Exterminate the Brutes. It says, I already watched part 1. You know, it's giving a history about Esau, the dark history that, you know, most people don't want to accept. It says, part 2, it says, Pete questions his own story against the stories of Christopher Columbus, the Alamo, the Trail of Tears, and the slavery in America. So it came out in 2021, which is last year, but they took it off, but it's back on here again because I believe it's because of the time. It's around the time of Thanksgiving, Black Friday, around the time, you know, these devils was doing a lot of murdering. But it could be on here for other reasons. But this is just a very beautiful documentary, man. But it has a lot of information in it, so if you better get a chance, check that out. Let's see, let's go back. Obadiah 1:10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So Esau is going to be cut off forever. The Hebrew word there is iralam, which means a long duration, and antiquity, forever, forever, everlasting, evermore, perpetual, old, ancient world, ancient term, forever, always, a future, continuous existence, perpetual. So Esau, you're going to be cut off forever. You're going to be cut off forever. Let's go back. Let's go down to the book of Obadiah 1 and 18. No, I'm going to start at verse 15. It says, for the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. So Esau did what? He murdered, he raped our women, he robbed us of all of our accessories. He put us in slavery. He made us serve and build up his kingdom. He did a lot of perverse, wicked things that, brothers know we're not going to do those things. But everything that we do to Esau is going to be done in righteousness. Everything is going to be done in righteousness. We're going to do it the right way, We're going to persecute him. We're going to put hell on him just like he put hell on us. It's going to be recompense, man. Payback. You know what they say? Payback is a bitch, man. We're going to be, we are going to put an end to Esau. All the times that Esau wanted to exterminate the so-called Negroes, it's going to come back on him. He wanted to exterminate our people, get rid of us. So the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Al-Shah, is going to get rid of him. And good riddance. We're going to celebrate that day, man. Lord willing, man. We're going to celebrate that day when Esau goes down, man.
Turn right.
We're going to celebrate that day when Esau goes into captivity. Okay, it says, Obadiah 1 and 15, for the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy own head. Right. The eye for an eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. You a life for life, man. You killed people. You murdered people, man. You hung them from trees. You showed no mercy towards them. You didn't spare the young or the old. You had your run, man. You had your fun. The Lord let you do what you wanted to do. Now it's time to fucking pay for it. And these devils don't want to pay for it. Verse 16. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Let's look up that word drunk. Of drinking, of cause wrath, of slaughter, of wicked deeds. Let's see if I could change the version. Obadiah 1 and 16 again. It says, just as I'm gonna start this. Look, it says, Edom destroyed, Israel restored. Obadiah 1 and 15, it says, the day is near when I, the Lord, will judge all godless nations, which is Esau is the top godless nation. As you have done to Israel, so will be done to you. All your evil deeds will fall back on your own heads. Just as you swallowed up my people on my mountain, on my holy mountain, so you and the surrounding nations will swallow the punishment I will pour out on you. Yes, all nations will drink and stagger and disappear from history. So the only person that's going to disappear from history, is going to be Esau. He's going to be completely eradicated. Let's go back up and read Obadiah 1 and 7 and 1 and 8. At that time, not a single wise person will be left in the whole land of Edom, says the Lord. For on the mountains of Edom, I will destroy everyone that has understanding. The mightiest warriors of Teman will be terrified, and everyone on the mountains of Esau will be cut down in the slaughter. Verse 10, because of your violence you did to your chosen relatives in Israel, you will be filled with shame and destroyed forever. When they were invaded, you stood aloof, refusing to help them. Foreign invaders carried off their wealth and cast lots to divide up Jerusalem, but you acted like one of Israel's enemies. You should not have gloated when they were exiled your relatives to distant lands. You shall have not rejoiced when the people of Judah suffered such misfortune. You shall have not spoken arrogantly in the terrible time of trouble. And this is plain and simple, man. Plain and simple. Esau, you deserve what you're going to get, and Israel is going to reign up in your stead. Let's see what the NLT says about Zechariah 12 and 9. It says 12 and 8. It says, on that day Yahweh will defend the people of Jerusalem. The weakest among them will be as mighty as King David, and the royal descendants will be like the Most High, like the angel of the Lord who goes before them. Right, and that's what the Lord is doing. He's restoring the house of David. He's bringing it back up. And what we're going to do once the house of David is risen back up, we're going to subdue the enemies. Edom servant. It's a scripture in what did King David do to Edom? Let's go to First Chronicles 18 and 11. It says, King David dedicated all these gifts to the Lord, also with the silver and the gold he had taken from the other nations, from Edom, Moab, Ammon, Philistia, and Amalek. Abshai, son of Zeruiah, destroyed 18,000 Edomites in the valley of Salt. He placed army garrisons in Edom, and all the Edomites became David's subjects. In fact, the Lord made David victorious wherever he went. So David reigned over all Israel and did what was just and right for all his people. So David set garrisons in Edom, and all the Edomites became David's servants. What the word servant means. The Hebrew word there is abad. Yeah, abad, if I'm not mistaken. It says slave, servant, slave, servant, manservant, subjects, servants, work. Basically slaves, man. Servant. Oh, here it is. A servant. Bondage. A bondman. So this is going to happen again. That's why Esau is afraid that the house of David is being risen up. He wants to disrupt us building. But this third temple is a spiritual temple. The house of David is a spiritual house, and you can't stop that from being built, damn devils. So with that, man, Lord, will you brothers edified with this quick lesson. I'm going to close out by giving all praises and glory to the Heavenly Father's only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who really teach well. Much peace, love, and salutations to their brothers on this work and truth and sincerity. Shalom. Kwame Yasha Allah. Wa Abba Wa Abba Adawam. Shalom.